For a couple of years now, I've just been thinking how we use the different prophecies about Jesus coming in church, and sometimes it's been to me just that it's been a little too fast. We don't really maybe stop and think about the significance of the different prophecies. We know the one where from Isaiah 7:14 where it says, "Therefore the Lord himself shall give you a sign. Behold, the virgin shall conceive and bear a son, and he shall be called Emmanuel," or Emmanuel, God with us. Sometimes I've been just thinking if we sometimes focus too much on Jesus being a baby at Christmas, and maybe forget about the other passages in Isaiah. So in the New Testament, we see different things. For instance, Paul quotes Isaiah more than any other book in the Old Testament, and Jesus also frequently quotes Isaiah. But who was Isaiah? As I was preparing, I was just trying to figure out what did we know about him. Well, I didn't know, but he was married, had 2 children. The 2 children had some really interesting names that God wanted Isaiah to give his sons. So he, in chapter 6 of Isaiah, is called by God, a beautiful scene where he sees the vision of who God is. Isaiah responds and says, I've seen God, I'm on a sinful generation, I have sinned. God provides for him. One of the seraphim takes a coal and makes his lips clean. Then God is saying, "Hey, who shall I send?" And Isaiah says, "Hey, send me, send me." Isaiah doesn't exactly know what that means, but God's going to tell him right after. He tells them, "You're going to go to this people, and you're going to keep saying what I'm going to tell you, that they should repent and come back, but they're not going to listen." Then Isaiah says to God, "But how long?" God responds, "Until everything is destroyed," basically. So what happens with Isaiah is that he's very faithful. He prophesies for God for 60 years, and what happens to all the prophets also happens to Isaiah. After those 60 years, tradition says that he's actually sawn in two. But that's an interesting part of the prophets. The real prophets were never really popular because the main message was turn back to God. A lot of people didn't want to hear that. Didn't want to hear it then. Didn't want to hear it today. But Isaiah is not only about judgment. There's also a lot of hope in the book. There's a lot of hope for the coming Messiah. There's a lot of hope of somebody coming and making everything right. One of the most beautiful passages also in Isaiah is the end of Isaiah 52 and 53, where it talks about the suffering servant. As we look back as Christians, we know that was Jesus. And the hope that Isaiah also portrays in God is that somebody is going to come and take away our sins, and in the future make all things right as it was before the world was broken by sin.